Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now. Flav is here. Life is good. Although it's been a tough week for me and Flav. But I'm excited that hopefully we can get back on track.
What are we talking about? You talking about two other men all the time?
Well, we could also talk about you gaslighting me last week.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. I did see that. Yeah, the old. I said Leicester, and you went Leicester. I went, who's talking about Leicester?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, that was an honest mistake, mate. I didn't mean anything. I didn't mean to gaslight you. You can't just chuck gaslighting around willy nilly.
Right.
You know, it fell out my mouth. In my head, what I'd said was, I can't even remember who we were talking about. Borough or whatever it was.
Let's show the people it.
Oh, right. You're going to do that, are you?
Yeah,
do that.
Because you made me, and I'm so disappointed in myself. I was so quick to just go, I'm sorry, whatever you say. So I'm just going to get this up now. By the way, so welcome, guys.
What's happening here? Is you're bringing evidence up, are you?
Yeah.
You're showing evidence.
The thing is, it's very clear evidence in what's been a tough week for me, where I've been getting pelters from all sorts for talking to another man, which is just... I mean, what am I? This feels like abuse, is what I'm saying. It feels like there's some form of abuse going on here.
You just don't check in with me. You're just off gallivanting around, doing fucking bits of content with other men. Is what I'm saying. I'm your man.
Sure, but what really happened in that hotel room with Loz? Not much really, actually. He was rubbish.
Did you share a room?
No, I didn't. No, I tried.
There's nothing worse.
I was like, we don't need two. We don't need two. Just what about the energy, safe energy in that?
Yeah, there's only one bed. Yeah, it's okay. Just
single bed. Single bed? No, it's a double bed.
Just have a couple of brewskis. We'll watch some videotapes.
Right. Let's show you this disgraceful bit of behaviour here. By the way, guys, exciting pod here. I've got to say that the comments were on fire yesterday. Last week. And Sandwich Chat is going to ruffle some feathers. This week. Because people are coming after you.
Coming after me? What did I say?
On a couple of different reasons. And also, I may well be understanding of the cutting into lengthways. Because someone's put forward an interesting point on that one.
That's great. There's no chance. That geezer's a paedophile. Go
on. Right, let's just show this. So you said, hang on, let me read the comment up first. I'll have someone's just written, stop blabbering. Yeah, welcome to Jaffin. Actually, there's a comment on that, actually. Luis Ramirez. I remember my first experience watching the pod about a year ago. I had seen a few JLA videos that would pop up as recommended videos, but I wasn't actually interested in subscribing. Harsh. I saw a video about you previewing, I think, the Manchester Derby last year. I remember thinking, an hour discussion about the Manchester Derby. I can pop this on while I'm at work and listen. I clicked, and you could imagine my surprise when there was only about 5 minutes of football chat and 50 minutes of in-jokes that I didn't understand. But I'm glad I stuck around.
Look,
okay?
That's a lovely comment, and I get it. You go to stuck on everybody. What do you want to just get everything all the time? This is work, right? This is work for us. This podcast requires work. It requires us to be our attention to be on point, and it requires us to know what we're talking about when it comes to football, right? So you've got to do your work. Stick with it. Learn. Everyone just wants everything fucking straight away. I want to understand everything straight away. There'd be no need for school or university or training programs if you understood everything straight away. Earn the right to watch this podcast.
Incredible, really, isn't it? And because in the background here, we've got comments talking about you gaslighting whilst you were gaslighting. That's fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Anyway, just listen. Dan Rees, 368 likes. 2 minutes in and Flav is gaslighting Jim. Leicester on -2. They get thumped by someone. Shame on you. Ryan Couch jumped in, gaslighting clear as day. Tom S says, can't wait for Jimbo to call him out next week for this. Well, here you go, Tom. Reg Hornsey, power move from Flav. Jersey said, clearly revenge by a rattle Flav because Jim has his new side bit with Rory. Get in line, Rory. Got Loz involved as well. And what's this? This made me laugh. Oh, no. Maybe Flav just wanted a sandwich. Interesting. And then I was disappointed myself because Bobby Chocolate said, not sure what's funnier, James' instant climb down from the challenge or Flav's unwavering certainty that no one said. No one said Leicester. So let's play it. They have got minus goal difference. That is weird.
They must have had one really bad result. That generally means.
Yeah, they got beat 4-0 by Rotherham, bizarrely. But yeah, the important thing is the boys are doing well. Hang on, this is very good. Angry.
Wait, you were literally brought it up.
I know. Here it is. That was Leicester.
Reading. What are you talking about, Leicester? What's that about? Did they get thumped by someone?
Listen to Flav.
They got -2 goal difference. Did they get thumped by someone?
Leicester. Right.
Leicester got -2. What's that about? Did they get thumped by someone?
Leicester on -2. Couldn't really make any signings. Paul Ince was manager. Turns out the guy's an absolute football genius. It's mad.
Leicester got -2. What's that about? Did they get thumped by someone?
Who?
They got -2 goal difference.
Watch me panic though.
By someone.
Leicester.
Reading. What are you talking about, Leicester?
Reading. Sorry. No, I got confused. I didn't hear you say Reading.
You brought Reading up.
I didn't hear the word Reading. Right. Well, let's move on.
Can I just say, in my defence, gaslighting is almost like a insidious activity, right? Something you do to manipulate someone else or put your position. That was the mistake. My brain said Reading. In my head, I'd said Reading, and I thought we were talking about Reading. But the same token, I couldn't control my mouth when it said sandwich for absolutely an inexplicable reason. This is a similar sort of thing. It's not my fault. It's not my conscious fault. It's my subconscious that did it. And I apologise, James.
It's fine.
But you did climb down way too quick.
Yeah, way too quick. No certainty in what. I think it was only because I was half listening.
That makes sense.
Jim Big Laugh Award.
Did you ever have that, Jim? Right? Sorry, it had happened a lot on Ball Street and the Fighting Cock, and I'd drift off in my own little world for a bit while someone else was talking, and I'd come back to and like maybe a minute into the conversation, and then you'd ask a question, you go, "Oh God." I'm really sorry, I just wasn't listening. I say that now, but back in the day when you're trying to make an impression.
Do you know what's horrible when you're presenting and you're interviewing someone? Sometimes you'll have this thing where you've asked a question, you go, and your head's going, thinking, okay, what's the next question? You're going, I can't think what the next question is. I haven't got a next question. Oh my God, please keep talking. Please keep talking. I haven't got anything. Yeah. He's just going to go. He's going to finish, and I'm just going to go. I've got nothing. And somehow something will always pop in.
Yeah, it always comes.
Yeah, God,
that's quite a common occurrence. That
it's not fun. Right, Jim Big Laugh Award.
I haven't got a question. I hope
we're just going. This is going to be horrific. I'm just going to go. I haven't got anything. Honestly,
I'm sorry, Chris Wilder. I have nothing left.
I've got nothing left. Joe Keane, unbelievable Samism. This is great. It's from a colleague on a call with a customer of mine. He wanted to tell the female we were pitching to that she was on the ball, but he actually said on the game.
Yes.
She reacted badly, and I had to Google what it meant. Hey, I got to say,
amazing.
Impressive
She's
stuff.
On the game.
You're on the game, I presume.
Any American listeners, on the game means that she's essentially a prostitute.
Yeah, simple as that. Horrible. Great stuff. You must be on the game. Horrible. What'd you do? How'd you get out of that? A little, because if you are officially offended, do you know what I mean? If the woman's officially offended, then you're in a real battle to get out of that.
Like if the person is offended, they're weak, a weak human being. If they can't see that it's an honest mistake, that again his brain has played a trick on him, and he hasn't been able to recall he's got two cliches there, and his brain's gone for the wrong one. When you're performing a sentence, you're not consciously thinking ahead typically about how you're going to construct the words. The wonderful thing that the brain does it for you, right? So if she's gone, oh, I'm offended by that, she can stay offended. I don't want to know that person.
All morning she's going, do I unzip this a little bit, this top? Because I think these are great assets, and I feel empowered by that, and I want to wear it. I want to do that. So she goes, yeah, I'm going to. And then he says on the game, and she's like, straight back up. Poor woman. Yeah, indeed, Catherine. Poor woman. But, these things happen.
She's not a poor woman. It's a fucking mistake. She's got to show some fucking backbone and resilience.
Okay. Do you know what, actually, that would be a great bit for the comments. When you've got out of something, like you've with like a sentence or something, like you've just in that moment, you know, like we were talking about how you can't think of a question and it just comes. So it happened to me once where I was with, I really liked this girl called Laura, right? And it didn't work out. And then I got with this girl called Zoe straight after. It was in the first meet up, you're young, 16, 17. And we're doing something, walking somewhere, and I called her Laura. And it was, and I meant the girl but it was the girl I fancied, and I never got with. It was a bit awkward, right? And she went, "What?" And like that. Fortunately, my sister's called Laura, so I was able to go. My sister's called Laura. Sorry, I do that sometimes. And she's like, okay.
"Yeah,
I was out of it. I was thinking yes, because I wasn't thinking of my sister.
There was a couple of times early on in my relationship where I accidentally said my previous girlfriend's name. But again, it's not a conscious thing. It's your brain doing it. It's a name that you've been saying over and over again for 14 years. It doesn't just suddenly switch off.
Can we have a round of applause in the chat, please, for Thomas Martin, son of legendary goalkeeper Nigel Martin, who's named the bit that we've been discussing, reflex saves. That is superb. Great work. His
dad was famous for a reflex save as well.
Great shot stopper.
Yeah, it was.
Shot stopper. Yeah, I was gaslighting. Good point, Catherine. It's come full circle. There we go. Not power. See, Lewis. No. See, if Luis Ramirez, I presume your dad wasn't a legendary goalkeeper because he's gone with power saves. No, reflex saves it will be called. Get in the comments, get involved. Let's get a little Tottenham update. All well? Everything right? Happy with life?
What? Yeah. Top of the Champions League group.
Should we just catch up on both our teams briefly? Could do that.
Yeah. How's Jurgen?
Do you know what, I haven't honestly. I haven't looked at it. So let's have a look.
Haven't checked the table.
I haven't looked at the championship table.
I'm not sure if you're aware, Jim. I'm not sure if you're aware, but can I just? You're currently after 13 games, you're joint top.
Oh dear me!
Did you?
Interesting.
Is that? It is interesting. Very interesting.
That is interesting to me. I don't know about anyone else who's clicked on this podcast and thought we were going to talk about managers getting sacked, which we will do. But we're characters within the podcast. You want to be involved in our lives. You want to be invested.
I'll tell you who isn't going to get sacked, Jim. Whoever your manager is.
Mick Beale, yeah.
Mick Beale, he ain't going to get sacked. Look at him flying. And it just goes to show that maybe the quality at Aston Villa isn't Steven Gerrard and is that guy you just said.
Mick Beale.
Yeah, maybe Mick Beale was the guy.
Wow.
And you do worry when you get your manager and you think, what's his name? Mick. You're like, oh, Mick McCarthy. That's all the others I can think of.
Other famous Micks in the chat, please, quickly.
Yeah, let's have some Mick.
Well, I think he's the best. He's the most forward-thinking manager named Mick. Are you
enjoying the football, Jim?
Am I enjoying the football?
Are you? Is it good football?
Well, yeah. I feel like
you're top. You're top.
Look, I don't want to say too much, okay? But what I will say is I feel like we're in second gear.
Right, you've got room to kick on. Yeah.
What I will also say is that I went to my championship prediction video and I have screen recorded what I said about the club at the time in my prediction, and it does, at the time of writing, sound beautiful. And I can't wait to post it. But will I be able to post it? And when should I post it? That's the problem. Because you can't, I've had problems. Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that.
Just go big. And you know what? When you say tempting fate, that's like believing magic exists. There's no such thing.
But whilst I'm remaining quiet, it's going pretty bloody well, I would say. 4 wins out of 5 there. If you see a lot of green, if anyone's offended by green, maybe look a bit further down the table because there's a lot of green knocking about here in this section. Come on,
mate. You can't. There's some point you got to think we are title challengers, automatic promotion, QPR to the Premier League. What will that do to our relationship? Because if you come up, when you come up, there's no friendship here, mate. When Spurs are playing QPR, I want to absolutely bury you.
Sure, I understand that.
Okay,
I just think it's interesting, is what I'm saying. Where we are currently.
There is, look, while there is, we're not saying that there's something happening there, or you're certainly not saying there's something happening there. You're interested in what's happening.
I just think it's interesting, is what I'm saying.
Just you're curious to see what might happen. It's curious. They are curious times at QPR.
Yeah, true. Do you know what's fascinating?
What's fascinating?
Is that our last 2 games were against Sheffield United and Reading, and if we just go back to the table, that's 1st and 5th.
That is fascinating.
That is fascinating, isn't it?
It's like a good book, isn't it?
Yeah,
QPR are a good book.
But what's going to happen? That's what I'm fascinated by.
Who knows? What does your dad think will happen?
He's like me. What's weird is we can get better. We can play better, and we are. I'm also slightly. I'm not sure we've totally got the depth. Still, I'm concerned about that. However, it is fascinating.
It is fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Jim, can I ask you a quick question? Because I did think of you when Chris Wilder was sacked. He has been sacked.
Yeah, he got sacked. Yeah.
Did you feel a bit because you met him? You've got a bond with him. Did you feel really bad?
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah, you kind of like, oh, but he's, he knows what he's doing. Something wasn't right there. It was odd. And they've got, thing is, what makes it tough for you, I would imagine, as well as a manager, is that you've got, if you've got a good squad, like that's, like he could probably easily turn it around. Easily.
Give him the time.
But yeah, and he's got the time, and there's enough games. Sorry, if I just take, it's going to take a while. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because I was right at the top there. But they're 21st at the moment, and yeah, the squad that they've got is really good. We beat them 3-2, and they're probably the best team we've played. So
that was an interesting game.
It was a belter of a game. We were 2-0 up, and then
fascinating.
They got one. It was curious.
You're curious.
Yeah, let me just. Sorry, lucky it's a podcast. It's going to take forever to get back up to the top here. Yeah, so we're back. There we are. 24 points. It's the same as first place. Sheffield United, who we beat just 2 games ago. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's talk about the Premier League. Because Tottenham, also, not joint first, but third. Both first. Look at us both flying high. Third. And
I've got to say, this is the same. We got gears to go into.
Yeah. Unless this is as good as you are, that would be the only concern.
Well, that you saw on Wednesday what Son and Kane are still capable of doing. Apart from the penalty.
What a wallop from Son!
It was like, it reminded me of Danny Rose, but obviously he wasn't outside the box. He's just unsavable.
That's the kind of thing and he did it himself, and I do it, and Fam, my wife, hates it. We were talking about how she makes me feel sick when she eats an egg sandwich. I make her feel sick when I do that. She's just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
"You're allowed to do that, Jim."
Yeah, I was like,
"Do one." Yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's fine. But yeah, but
tick, ticking along, just ticking along.
Yeah, man. I talk about Spurs all the time. You know what I want to talk about? Can I talk about something? Can I bring up a subject, and then we might segue into the title? Here.
Well, I've got my link ready as well, but feel free to go on your tangent.
Is it to do with Steve Cooper being given a new contract?
It drifts towards that place, but actually the link was the fantastic job that Mick Beale is doing, and what he's left behind. The earthquake that he's created back at Villa Park. That's what I was going to talk about.
Well,
Villa were you going to say about Steve Cooper? You want to talk about Steve Cooper?
I just thought, what a wonderful demonstration of loyalty to the man who put you in this situation single-handedly, to when everybody was saying, how long is he going to last, for them to give him a new contract. It was refreshing. I mean, they're fucked. Don't get me wrong. They're going down.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
But so this is what I wanted to get to. The title of it is "Who will be next to be sacked in the Premier League?" Now, if you just zoom out for a second, Flav, what you'll see is that there's a World Cup on the horizon, just a few weeks away. Now, what does this mean? Like, this is the international break of all international breaks. If you remember last year when Steven Gerrard got the job, Norwich got rid of their manager, Villa got rid of their manager, Watford got rid of their manager, and they did it before the break. Brought in the manager to give them that time to do what they wanted to do. Because, of course, you come back around the Christmas period, I think it is, the games. And then, what's that there? It's the January transfer window. So, is it worth sacking any of these current contenders, which I can show you now? So, these are the top 4 guys. I hope you can see it above me. So, Gerrard is the biggest favourite to go next. Then Ralph Hasenhüttl, who everyone thought they were going to get pumped 9-0, didn't they, last week? Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Disappointing. Yeah. Brendan Rodgers. Well, actually, I'm amazed he's the 3rd favourite. And Jurgen Klopp, 4th. Steve Cooper, 5th.
What?
Yeah, and Jesse Marsh.
Unless the new contract was like to remove a clause or something, or to put a clause in. I don't know.
Oh, really? Do you mean? Well, so my point is that, first of all, do you think it's worth sacking anyone between now and the end of the World Cup?
Well, what? It depends. It's not an easy question to answer, because if the opportunity there is to upgrade on who you have, and there is an opportunity to do that, then you sack them. But Villa, as I understand it, while they're being pretty blunt, aren't they undefeated in 4? I thought I heard them say. Like,
who? Sorry,
right? Villa.
Yeah, they've turned the tide a little bit. They have. You're right. Where are
I would err on the side of caution and not make any rash decisions, and just see. Villa are not as bad as their league position would suggest, and they've got the quality in their squad. They really do. Maybe it is the manager, but you just not at this stage. It's too early. What are their aspirations, Villa? But their aspirations are to be can't really be anything more than a mid-table club. Where will they end up?
Do you mean this season or broadly?
No, broadly, obviously, they want to build into the top 6 and European. But this season, based on where they are right now, a mid-table club, mid-table finish would be preferable, right?
Yeah,
get above that.
Well, okay, so let's do this.
I can see Gerrard and Villa doing that together. But there are other things at play, Jim, isn't there? Like the dressing room and the rumours that are surrounding the club, and that it's more than just the results. There's issues, isn't there? So that's another reason why it might happen. So
chat, right? You're all watching right now. First of all, do me a favour, hit the like button, give the podcast a chance, subscribe if you're new and all that stuff. If you haven't hit the bell yet, let's go Gerrard first. Would you? How many? Well, actually, do you know what? Let's make it broader. Tell us who you support, the name of your club, and then tell me about your manager, and we'll have a little review of if you want them in or want them out. In particular, the likes of Southampton fans, if you're in there, Villa fans, if you're in there. I'd like to know. I don't know if Tom's in here. He's a Bournemouth fan. Gary O'Neill. Do you give him the gig? Like they're flying. That's the other side of it.
Since they.
So here's my theory on Bournemouth, Flav.
Fuck me! I've just noticed that they're 8th in the league. Weren't they like rock bottom when Parker goes? It just shows you. Everyone was banging the Scott Parker drum that he's going to get a big job at a big club. He was the problem. Of course, you give him the gig. But
here's the thing, right? This is the strategy that I would do. I would go if I was chairman. I'd go to Gary O'Neill. I'd go, look, you got the job. Don't worry, okay? But let's just milk this for all it's worth whilst your caretaker, because the caretaker manager, when they go on a run and everyone's like, he's got to give him the job. Then they get given the job.
A year from now, and then they get sacked.
Yeah. There was the Charlton manager. What was his name? I interviewed him. He used to play for Spurs.
Johnny Jackson,
that's it. He went on this unbelievable run as caretaker manager, and then as soon as he got the job, it just sort of spiraled out of control. So I wonder with Gary O'Neill, that's the way to go.
So the manager, the owner's just gone, listen, you've got the job. You know you've got the job. Obviously, you've got the job. Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, let's milk this for all it's worth whilst you're on a good run. Got Fulham this week as well. They could go fifth. No, they could. They could go fifth. No, they couldn't. Goal difference.
Well,
no chance.
Goal difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that could cost them. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Southampton, James 1. Southampton, Ralph out. Lost four lost in a row, and the last 21 games, I believe, 3 wins.
Not good enough. He's kind of he's still rated by like football dorks. Not dorks, sorry, people that tacticians.
Yeah.
Hipsters, yeah. He like because of the way he plays, but regardless of this form, he's lost 9-0 twice, and it's not acceptable.
Okay. This is interesting. Someone's Periola. That's it. Periola. Villa are only a point behind the apparently brilliant Brentford. That's so passive aggressive. It's true, isn't it? Just 1 point behind the apparently brilliant Brentford.
It's funny the narratives around clubs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. But I guess it's expectations, isn't it? It's a huge part of it all. But I think Gerard's trying to figure it out. But what's amazing with the Mick Beale element of it all is that it sounds like it's biased from me, but the way that Villa want to play is exactly how we play. Like exactly the same. It's crazy.
So what I think you're saying is Mick Beale. Like, I think what's potentially interesting about what you're saying is that Villa were better when he was there, and now QPR are better now that he's there.
I think what I'm trying to say is that Mick Beale will be England manager one day. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it now. Clip me up. Clip me up. Mick Beale will be the England manager at some point in his career.
Wow, that is a massive shout. Massive.
I think
99% of football fans never heard of him.
Well,
and you're saying he'll be an England manager.
Remember the name is what I'm saying.
Will he be an English manager before Steve Cooper?
Quite possibly, because I could see he's obviously very ambitious. He has links with Liverpool and Chelsea, so he knows that. He'll leave us. He'll get us up. He'll leave us and go to Villa or something like that. He'll do a good job at Villa, and then the job will become available, and he'll take it. I'm telling you.
I can't see it because
just get us up
Eddie
first.
Howe has never been offered it,
but Eddie Howe would be offered it now if he wasn't at Newcastle.
And it just goes to show the absolute shower of shit of a standard of managers that we produce.
We've got him and Potter, haven't we? Got Bealo. We got Beale.
I've got a couple of questions. We're still talking about managers, but
yep.
Right. Newcastle, are they overperforming or underperforming, or just about right? Just about right, isn't it?
I think it's feeling good. Yeah, I think just overperforming. B+.
One defeat all season, overperforming.
Yeah, I guess maybe they've got. I mean, they spent a lot of money, haven't they? When's the narrative change? You go, well, hang on, but they spent a lot of money. See, that's the problem that Villa have got. Villa have spent it feels like they spent a lot of money, and so
the thing is,
those two should be battling out, but side by side, whereas they're down here. How many?
Yeah, he's doing a good job, Eddie Howe, isn't he? Is there any job more secure in the Premier League apart from perhaps Guardiola, Conte?
Great question for the chat. What is the most secure, apart from Pep?
Yeah.
What's the most secure job in the Premier League right now?
I think it's got. My opinion is Arteta, because they're willing to, back his mediocrity, so they're definitely not going to sack him when they're top of the league.
But you also know he is in huge trouble, even if they finish. If they finish fifth.
If they finish fifth, he has to be sacked. That would be eighth, and fifth from a position of leading the table as they are now. And
I would say.
Think they will.
Do you know what I would say?
They're very, very good.
I would say Ten Hag's job is probably one of the most secure right now.
Do you think? Because I'm not. I haven't been convinced by them. They're winning in the same way that a lot of people are not convinced by Spurs. We're winning, but not playing that well. It's a similar thing with Man United.
He will. There's no way he won't be manager Christmas next year. If we're talking security, Arteta, like, I mean, I guess you could say it about any team if they just bomb. But say Arteta finishes 5th and they bottle it, and then doesn't start that well. I think Ten Hag's got so much credit in the bank because Man United as a football club has so little.
Yeah.
Eric, 10 months, isn't it? Very good, Dude Master.
Good.
I think so. Yeah. So Gerrard, how many games has Gerrard got left? And also because I did put Jurgen Klopp on the front of the thumbnail, and the reason for that was like, yeah, but also because where they're at right now, they're 10th. Obviously, like a couple of victories, and they'll be back knocking about in the upper echelons. And if you are confused what upper echelons are, if I just go to the championship table, this is the sort of lower echelons, and then this is the upper echelons where QPR sit currently.
Yes.
Just in case everyone's confused.
Yeah.
How many? I just wanted to ask how many games. How many games has he? Because also, like, say it's the next Premier League manager to go. Say everyone goes, look, let's get beyond the World Cup, because generally all of these managers are good managers. They might just not be working at the club that they're at. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
you made a good point about upgrades. If you can't get the upgrade that you want, you're better off maybe just sticking, because you've got a bit of time to get yourself lovely and planned. So
you're talking about Liverpool.
So yeah, so say Liverpool continues to struggle between now and the end of the this bit of the season before the World Cup, and then finish the season in 10th or whatever.
It would have to be some sort.
Feeling right, is it?
No,
I know that.
It isn't
this is absurd, by the way. They won 7-1 2 nights ago.
It's not. It would have, in order for Klopp, for them to be even considering sacking him, it would have to be some sort of collapse like he saw at Dortmund on 7 years, funnily enough. But they, at this point in the season, were already rock bottom. And he did actually manage to get them out of that and sort of finish mid-table or something. I think it got as high as 7th or 6th that year.
So in the chat, what is the scenario where he gets fired due to performance on the pitch, not something?
I think they should stick with him. I don't think there's anything apart from getting relegated, but that's never going to happen. They just stick with him, mate. I think. I don't like we talked about this on the Last Man Standing on Monday, and Paul quite rightly said, "I don't even know why we're talking about this. Why we're talking about it, Paul? You understand YouTube very well, because it gets people through the door, right? Get them through the door, and then we can have a conversation."
Yeah.
Anyway, but he's right. He's right. It would be inconceivable for Liverpool to even consider. The board are not even considering it because there isn't a better manager out there for them.
Periola, Klopp is untouchable.
Yeah,
it'd have to be relegation.
It would have to be relegation.
But do you know what? See, I think that's interesting, though, isn't it? And I guess obviously it's credit in the bank, right? But
does he not be able to rebuild? Of course, he can rebuild.
But if Arteta finishes, say Arteta finishes 5th this season, right? He's in trouble. But if Klopp finishes 12th, he'd be all right, wouldn't he?
But why? But since Arteta's joined, they've won a Champions League and a league title, and an FA Cup and a League Cup. Whereas Arteta in his first season won an FA Cup, I think. It wasn't it. It was. Did he come in halfway through the season, something like that? So whatever it was, it's not. Do you know what? There'd be many Arsenal fans out there saying, "No, we'd stick with him," and that's fair play. But there isn't going to be this endless pot of money that you've been spending, and they've spent a lot. And by the amount of money they've spent compared to how much they've recouped, it's a huge investment in the squad. Something they've been asking for ages, decades. Since do you remember the sort of commotion? It's a yearly thing that Arsenal don't spend money and Wenger doesn't buy new players or necessarily have significant investment.
They're paying off the stadium, aren't they?
Yeah, whatever it is. But this is what they've been asking for, and for good reason. They currently find themselves top of the table. But if it doesn't work, there's not where else. What do? They keep hoping that Arteta fixes it, or do they keep hoping this squad's going to get better? Because what's going to start happening maybe not this season, but the season after, is these players that big clubs are going to start coming in from. It always happens.
Yeah.
Arsenal can't stop a player from joining Real Madrid. Or Saliba joining PSG. It's fucking reeks of it.
It comes back to what you're saying, though. Is there a better manager out there in terms of fit? So, like with the Klopp thing, that's why Klopp is untouchable, because there is no bet. Like, anyone you go for is a step backwards and step down. So he's untouchable.
Yeah, he probably is untouchable. But the thing is with Arteta is this is the best it's going to get, right? Not that there may be trophies coming for Arsenal, but this moment of excitement and like, oh God, what might happen? This is the best bit, right? Because what actually happens next season is other challenges start coming into play. The players start hearing the same messages from the same manager and we're looking at the same pictures on the whiteboard. And these things become less effective, and he's got to find new ways to motivate players that are becoming long in the tooth in terms of hearing his ideas. And so there are other challenges, and it becomes a little bit more stagnated, and then players start looking at other clubs if they don't win league titles or they have designs to go there already. So all these different challenges are going to be confronted with Arteta. While he may be good enough, he may be just so good that he can manage these coming challenges. But this moment, and I don't like the fact that Arsenal fans are feeling as happy. It makes me feel sick, right? Of course it would, as it should. But this is it. This moment is when they're going to be. They should be like the happiest, because this is like it's like the start of a relationship. You know, everything's starting to click into gear, and eventually
she's going to eat an egg sandwich.
She's going to eat an egg sandwich.
You got to be ready for that, guys. At some point, it's going to happen. Who's top of the draw league? Great question. Actually, final one for the chat. Who will be the next manager to be sacked? Get your answer in the chat right this second, and we'll see who is the victor. And again, hit the like button for me. Give the podcast a chance, please. So yeah, where is it? I was so busy looking at the championship table, which there it is. If you haven't seen it. Oh, here it is. So, in terms of the draw league, I can't remember who sent me this comment. Apologies. But this guy's team is... Actually, I'm going to feel bad if I don't find it, so let me just find the draw league. Where is it? Here you go. Vuta, I'm going to say. Vuta VD. For draw league, please take a look at NEC in the Dutch Eredivisie. We're miles on top of the draw league. So, I presume... I don't want to presume, but I'm going to. I'm going to presume that you haven't looked at the Eredivisie recently.
I'm looking at it now.
Well, let's have a little scroll down into 10th spot. And NEC are currently, after 9 games, they've won 1, lost 1, drawn 7. 7.
It's NEC Nijmegen.
That's superb. They're out there fighting for the title. 7. Keep it going.
Well, pretty good.
That was the other thing with the championship. Preston won. They beat Norwich 3-2. But before that, the amount of goals that were scored. Oh, it's 8-8 now. It's not as exciting, but it was crazy. What's everyone saying in terms of the next dude? Nick Toll says Gerrard or Hazen. Hoodle. UEFA says Flav is on fire. Brilliant. Gerrard, a lot of Gerrard. Yeah, people saying Gerrard next out. Interesting.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So do you think in the World Cup this year? Do you think there'll be how many players do you think will be bought on the form of the World Cup? You always have that, don't you? Like you have this player who's like, fuck, who's he?
Who's your favourite?
We had Zakora.
Yeah,
Zakora.
Salif Diao as well was bought, I think, by Liverpool. Yeah, there's been a lot of those players. It was people. I think people talk about that so much that they're now nervous about doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was it. The other. This is just a Jim Big Laugh Award comment. Library Gary, one of the OGs. And this is one of his quotes of the week. Arsenal were lucky. No, I won't explain. Proceeds to explain. That was you last week. You got a little viral TikTok out of you, mate. Thanks for that. You saying that Arsenal were lucky to win the North London derby. 96,000. Another dig at you.
Was it recorded in?
It's chopped up by Bobby Turner, wasn't it, for TikTok?
Did Bobby Turner chop it up?
Sliced up
with
nice.
the correct context, where Yeah,
I think he let you get it across. Yves de Grief, one of our beloved Moist Slugs, and if you'd like to become a Moist Slug and join us for our mailbags, sorry we haven't done one this week. Obviously been out and about. We'll be back next week. Then links in the description. Less than a London pint. He says Flav gives off the aura of the assistant coach at Newcastle. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who is the assistant coach?
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant. I thought that he was saying just broadly, you look like someone who would be assistant coach at Newcastle. But maybe he actually means
the guy who stands.
Is that Tyndall? Tyndall's his guy. Maybe he's saying you look like it. He was saying aura. That's it. He said aura.
So the geezer sort of screaming, not really doing anything, and just sort of screaming at the players and having their arms crossed and stuff like that.
I was wondering if you were.
What's that film? The Bradley Walsh with fucking fucking two.
Mike Bassett, yeah.
He's actually really good in that, to be fair.
Yeah, he's amazing in that. I did wonder, one for the comments, like, if Flav was in football, what role would he have? I'd be intrigued to know where you'd place him. Is he an assistant coach? Is he a gaffer? Is he definitely not a kit man? You're definitely not a kit man. You'd be like, get it yourself. And you'd be terrible with the names.
Yeah.
Like, what are these? Anyway, but let us know in the comments down below. Right, where are we? Curry panic. Remember this? So we're into the bits now. Sandwich chat on the horizon, and it's juicy. I had a bit of curry panic, like the day after we spoke about curry panic.
You said when you was eating paneer last week, and
my stomach was incredibly vulnerable the next day.
Oh yeah, and we had the vindaloo as well, as we were talking about, is when you start panicking when you're eating. What was your panic?
Well, I had a panic where I sort of had a shower, and then I farted without thinking, because you're on your own. You know, when you're on your own, like, I'm on my own, I can fart. Everyone has that, right?
Yeah.
Because broadly speaking, you can't, can you? Annoyingly, but I was like, I'm on my own. Result.
Some relationships you can.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I like to keep the air of mysticism.
Yeah, you're a romantic.
I'm like a romantic relationship. Some are just like my mates say they Dutch oven their missuses. That's
power move.
It's not a power move. It's fucking weird in my opinion. But they're going, oh, you're stuck up, and I'm like, I don't want a Dutch oven, my missus. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she'll find me less attractive if I done that.
Well, just briefly explain Dutch oven. I think I know what it is.
It's when you fart under the covers, and then hold her head under it.
See, I'll sort of
Dutch oven.
The opposite of that is I'll try and lock one in using the duvet and hope it does. So
I've been there.
It's a risk, but you just sort of hold your arms in. You've got a chance at least. Well, actually, Fat had curry panic because she, as you know, as everyone bloody knows, I sleep on my front. And the duvet wasn't on my bum, and I'd farted whilst I was asleep. And she was like, "What is that?" So she was like, "What do I do?" So she put, because she's not going to be able to roll me over, so she just put the duvet over the top of my bum and tucked it in, I think. Anyway, I had curry panic in the shower.
Yeah.
Because I was in the shower and I was like, okay, I'm on my own. I can have let a little trump out, and as we all know. Hot air rises, and in the shower, a bad fart is horrific. It's even worse. So I sort of farted, and then I was like, "Oh no, I know what I know what this batch is like." And I was like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Because you can't hold your breath forever. So I had curry panic in that moment.
I thought you were going to say you shit yourself in the shower.
No, but you'd be fine, wouldn't you? Guess just do a
sort
little...
of.
B-day it, I guess, can't you? Anyway, Martin Green, curry panic. Get your curry panic in. The comments on curry panic. I've been there. Let's just give some clarity. I'm a Kormatika guy, tops. Right. I moved to Australia and started a new job, and after 3 months, I got invited out with the boys They were giving it the big one about how hot the curries they eat were.
Yeah.
Tough. I mean, the thing is, sometimes with those things, you show more power by just going, well, no, I prefer a korma. And you're not batting. Don't be rattled in that moment. You know?
Yeah, if you say, fuck off, I'll eat what I like, that's more manly than eating a hot curry. Because it isn't about, obviously, you can't control how your face and body reacts to heat. Everybody's different. And it's a biological thing, not a mental thing.
Staying strong as well is good, because my mate Charlie does it. My mate Charlie doesn't drink beer. He doesn't want to drink beer. He's never drunk beer. He's not drinking beer. And you say, but like, everyone's having a beer. Drink a beer. Go on, drink a beer. And he's like, I don't drink beer. And it's like, you got to respect it.
You do. You do have to respect it.
He loves a Chardonnay.
It's mad. You go out to the pub or down at football. There isn't a group of men all drinking prosecco. If I walked into a pub,
why not?
Why not? If there was 8 men in a ring and they weren't drinking a pint, they were simply drinking prosecco. There will be so many men out there who would much rather have a prosecco than a pint of beer, but they don't, because they don't want to look like,
in a group of lads, you can't pop a bottle of prosecco and go way. You can't have those two together. You got to quietly go. Do you want to have a glass? Yeah, please, that'd be lovely. Oh, it's divine.
But when you're like, I think men look weird having a red wine.
At the pub?
Yeah, you either look like an alcoholic or it's just not done. Like, imagine sitting down, me and you, and just having a glass of red wine together. It just doesn't feel right.
That's funny you say that, because the Champions League, Stu, our old boss, was drinking red wine, and so me and Loz were like, yeah, we'll drink wine as well. So we were all drinking red wine. Damn.
But you're all happier. You're all happier than you would be if you were drinking beer.
Own it is what we're saying.
You ain't got no gassiness. You're not full. You're not pissing every 2 minutes.
Super chat from UEFA. Thank you very much. My father is an Eintracht fan. Happy when Kamada scored 2 versus AFC and Emery got sacked. Arteta came, first European game, knocked out by a team from Greece. Thanks for that, super chat.
How much was that?
Thanks, mate. £5. No, look, I've read it. Right. Anyway, curry panic. That's a promise, actually. I'm reading before. Anyway.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, no, I'd appreciate it. They're giving a big one about how hot the curries they eat were. So I ordered a vindaloo. I ordered vindaloo to be one of the lads to fit right in. Anyway, I ordered 3 pots of yogurt. I lost 2 kilograms of sweat. If I was a boxer, I would have gone down 2 weight categories, and I ended up throwing up on the table. That's tough. In the long run, it will bring you closer together, but your status amongst the group will probably drop. End up throwing up get away from the table though.
Yeah, move. Yeah, like what? Who's eating after that?
Yeah, on the table.
Why did you move?
Did you have that when you were a bit younger? You'd go for a curry with your mates, and it was sort of a bit of a competition who had the neatest section. Because curry somehow just goes everywhere, doesn't it?
I mean, I never. Yeah, it does go everywhere.
I took pride in that. I used to take pride in that. Of course I did. Anyway, throwing up on the table, full of shame. I turned up to work on Monday, head down in pure shame. Now I'm known as the beater. But I now have mates for life. And I don't think I'll leave Australia for England. Really good, quick story there, Martin. Well done. That really went everywhere. Yeah, nice, happy ending as well. Right, here we go. Sandwich chat. Fascinating stuff. We still haven't completely decided on what is the top sandwich. That is one for the comments this week. Of course, there'll be a ripple effect from these sandwich comments as well. So let's make our way through. Connor. So, by the way, if you missed last week's podcast, Flav was very clear on how a sandwich should be cut, and so it shouldn't be cut this way. It should be cut this way. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Connor TG, sandwich chat. Flav Flav is objectively correct about how to cut sandwiches. However, if I'm making a sandwich for myself, I don't cut it at all.
What?
Wait, okay. See, I don't hate this take. I'm intrigued to know what you think. Just eat the whole thing in one go. I'm getting married next week. Congratulations, Connor, by the way. To a girl I've been, or this weekend, I guess. Congratulations. I've been with 10 years, and it's probably the only thing that's giving her cold feet. She makes me cut it in half when I take lunch to work so they don't think I'm a nonce.
Good girl. Sounds like you're marrying a good one.
Yeah. How do you feel about just the all-in-one job?
He's a psychopath.
Sure,
there's a practical issue here, mate. Is that if you hold it up, there's a chance that some of the innings at the filling of the sandwich are going to fall out the bottom because you haven't got proper purchase on. It's not the innings of the sandwich.
Yeah, innards.
Yeah, right. The innards, innings, insides, whatever it is. You're not have full control of the sandwich unless he's got massive shovel hands. Like if he's Nigel Martin, he's not cutting a sandwich in half because he could fit 2 whole sandwiches inside his hands.
Yeah.
But
do you know where I think you're fine with that? With something that's not where it's not. So I think there's 2 things here, and I think one is very legitimate, right? So I would say that I think you're right. If there's 2, that's the thing is there's too much in it. But if we've just got you need a quick sandwich, right? And you're doing like a peanut butter sandwich, right? Something like that. Okay. With something like that, it's so thin, or even just cheese ham. That's it, right? It's so thin, and the middle section for me is the key section, obviously, of a sandwich, right? So what you can do, and so this is what I do with any sandwich, regardless of how it's cut, is I generally work round the sides to enjoy the innards, as you say.
You eat the outside of the sandwich first. The crusts first.
Yeah, so say this is a peanut butter sandwich and I was eating the whole thing.
Crazy. The best bite is the one and you've got the whole sandwich like that, and the first bite right in the middle of when you cut it in half.
Okay.
That's the best bit.
Right, we're getting to this, okay? But yeah, I'll just tell you mine because there's a comment about this. But say if it was an all-in-one, I would work my way around the crust so that I get because the last bite in things is important, and I want the last bite to be the best bite.
No one does that. You're literally the only person on earth that eats the crust first
because I want to enjoy the best bit last.
So you fill your mouth full of crust the first.
To be continued. Okay. So anyway, he likes what? He likes an all-in-one. Robert Faber. Okay. Oh, hang on. Here we are. Yeah. Sorry, Robert Faber. I'll admit it here. I do cut my sandwiches lengthways. I have done since I was a child, and I'm not American. I'm Dutch. Having had a thought about it, this comment's mental, and I love it. Anyway, having had a thought about it, I think there's 2 reasons why I prefer it, and both have to do with my very Dutch propensity for sweet sandwich fillings.
What, like jam and peanut butter? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so first reason, if you have a jam sandwich, there's always a risk of squeezing some of the jam out while you eat it.
Don't eat jam sandwiches.
No, that's what I mean. I started reading this comment when I was getting in a running order, and I was like, okay, this is going to be about the strategy of how you cut things. And I just got lost in the ingredients of which he talks about. Because it's the idea. I just love the idea. I think there's nothing. What's better than an. Sorry, there's a bit of a tangent. When we were at Ibrox, right, the game started, and we were right on the aisle, and there was this guy. He was about, I would say, 55, and he was about 25 stone, right, and he had a huge sort of beer belly, and he went up and down the stairs. He went up and down the stairs about 4 times. What I can't. Where's the? I can't feel me. I know where my seat is, but I can't see the guys. He was like, "Lot," and he's sweating. He's going up and down. He's a bigger guy, and then Lots just turned to me and said, "You know, sometimes you just in certain scenarios, anyone, whatever their age is, you just see a little boy. And he was just like, I was like, I can't. What? But that game started, and I don't want to go up there again. But I know my seat is up there. But hang on, it might be down here. And there was such this amazing moment where he went, because I was watching him, and then he went, and he looked over and went, he was in the wrong stand. He was in the stand alone. Anyway, eating a jam sandwich feels similar. Do you know what I mean? If I think of an adult eating a jam sandwich, I can't. I would just see a little child going.
It's
sandwich. But anyway,
if your go-to is like a jam sandwich, what's the best sandwich in the world? Well, it's a strawberry jam sandwich. Then
question marks, isn't it? Question marks.
Big time red flags.
Yeah. Right. Well, keep listening. Here we go. So if you had have a jam sandwich, there's always a risk of squeezing some of the jam out while you eat it. And I think that if you cut it lengthwise, the way you end up holding the sandwich makes it more likely for that jam to then leak onto your fingers, where you'll notice it instead of silently falling out of the sandwich and onto your trousers.
Right.
Right. Second one. Right. This is going to blow your mind. These next 5 words. If you have chocolate sprinkles on your sandwich.
What are you on about? What are you talking about? What is going on here? I've been to Netherlands 6 times in my life. This doesn't happen over there. It's just you, Robert. You need to have a word with yourself. Chocolate sprinkles and jam in a sandwich. Sandwiches are savoury if you're over 7 years old. You can't put chocolate. What are you even talking about? Chocolate sprinkles? Where? Are you talking about chocolate drops or sprinkles that you put on ice cream? Why the fuck are you putting them between 2 pieces of bread? It's fucking outrageous. I can't wait to read the next.
What is going on here?
Come on, Jim, read the rest. I can't. This is mad. He's talking like it's normal as well. This is my issue with it. He's just like, no, I prefer sweet sandwiches. That's what's strange about this. What you're saying isn't normal. And then this is the guy who's backing it to be cut long ways.
Do you know what I like? So, imagine a group setting if like everyone's talking about sandwich, and then just like, he went, I prefer sweet sandwiches. Everyone will go,
What?
Oh, Robert, sorry, mate. Right. If you have chocolate sprinkles on your sandwich, as we Dutch want to do, I don't know, those sprinkles are going to fall out at the first opportunity, unless you use an inordinate amount of butter to stick them down. Cutting the sandwich lengthways means you grasp it evenly across the entire length, not creating any sag in the bottom slice that would lead to sprinkle spillage. I can't say if there's any advantage in cutting a banana sandwich lengthwise, though. I guess we'll have to ask Harry Maguire.
I'm literally texting my Dutch mate now. Right, mate, quick one. Is it normal in the Netherlands for people
I'm so nervous
to eat
for Robert
sandwiches of jam with chocolate sprinkles?
Is it those like crunchy chocolate sprinkles as well? Do you know what I mean? Or is it just like chocolate filings? That makes sense. Anyway, fascinating. That was awesome. Freddie, sandwich cutting chap. My girlfriend was once cutting slices. Oh, this is mental. My girlfriend was once cutting slices for a sandwich whilst a couple of friends were around. Rather than slicing the loaf across the small side like a regular person, she instead proceeded to cut the loaf lengthways, as though to make an incredibly long slice. Needless to say, it's 5 years later and it still gets brought up when we hang out. Do you know what that is annoying with a loaf? You know when you can't get it in the toaster? It's like popping out. You got to sort of stay on top of it and switch it round halfway through.
Warbuttons, isn't it? Warbuttons.
Andrew Youngs, there's a good reason to go for the top to bottom cut on the sandwich. Now, this is why I think I might make my way towards it, because in our household, when I have a sandwich, it's known that you don't just have one sandwich, you have 1.5 Always have 1.5. 2's too many, but 1.5's just right. Sometimes I want exactly 3 slices of bread. 2 is too few. 4 would be ridiculous. Thus, with the third slice, I make a half sandwich. That's what I do. The top
He's
to
come
bottom.
back to me. Sorry.
All right, the top to bottom cut allows for a perfect tessellation, as the two sides mirror each other, meaning sandwich filling volume can be maximised. No floppy edges. Go on, chocolate sprinkles.
He said, "Hi mate, quick one. Is it normal in the Netherlands for people to eat sandwiches of jam and chocolate sprinkles? I've been told it is." He says, "Ha ha 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 ha, like strawberry jam." And I went, "Yeah." And he says, "Strawberry jam, not really, but sprinkles with peanut butter is quite normal. Not for me, though. Give me an egg and bacon sandwich any day."
He's nervous there, isn't he? He's like, "Don't judge me, though. I'm not part of this."
Sprinkles and peanut butter is quite normal. I'm not one to, make fun of another person's culture, and if that's what they like, and they're up there with my favourite people on earth, I just got to let them have it. I've blown my mind, Robert. I'm sorry. Sorry for my outburst.
Yeah, Canali Hunt's a triple-decker sandwich removes any underfeeding worries. It doesn't feel right to me to put the one in the middle. It just feels off.
Do you not like when you're in your Sainsbury's and you can buy a triple-decker? Or you can buy it's the free sandwiches in there.
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
Yeah, no. What? As in, you'll get 3 in the packaging.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll look for that. I'll look for them. I don't want a 2 really.
No, 2 is never enough.
We're talking about smaller fillings. If I'm hungover, I might double up on 2 2s, but there's really small filling if I'm hungover.
What do you mean 2 2s?
So like what could we have? We could have like a ham and mustard and a cheese and onion one. Like a one. That's
you mean you'll have two sandwiches?
Yeah, go 4. Yeah, I'm a nutcase.
4.
I'm a nutcase.
Wow.
But then that's why I don't cut diagonally, because I think it's less filling if you cut diagonally. That makes sense. Because for me, the key area is the middle bit. Right. LM, sandwich chat. We were talking about this earlier. Where do you take your first bite of a sandwich? From one of the corners where the crust meets the normal bread. I find this a bit cleaner, less likely to get bits of food around your mouth, but I don't enjoy the flavour of the crust as much as the filling, of course. Or straight out of the centre of the normal bread bit. Gets a purer flavour of the filling and bread, but also gets stuff around your gob. I think he's talking about if in a diagonal. I think he's generally talking about.
Why don't you just cut the crusts off then, Jim? And then all of it can be exactly how you want it.
I'm happy to have it. It's like crust on a pizza. I'm happy to have the crust. I want all of the sandwich. See, this is the thing. It's not about the first bite. It's about the last bite. What's going to be your last bite? And that's why I'm going to work my way around so I can finish with epic satisfaction at a job well done. That's what I'm thinking.
What about, why don't you have a sub as opposed to a sandwich? Then you've got, again, all of it. It's good.
I mean, that's fine, but I like the middle bit. I like the middle bit of the bread as well. Look, we do breakfast buffet stuff, or you get it full English or something like that. Do you save the last bit? Is the last bit the best bit?
I would say, I mean, not consciously, but yeah, typically it'd be the end of a sandwich. It'll be the end of a sausage, a little bit of egg, a little bit of toast, and the rest of the bean juice.
Yeah, I've got to stay on top of it because I'll just find myself with just a load of meat. Because by the end of it, because I'll just go through the other bits because those are the best bits. So I'll try and mix it up. Do you know what? Actually, I had black pudding in Scotland with tomato on top, with the the grilled tomato on top. It was really good actually. Yeah, offered a bit of moisture to the dry black pudding.
Jim,
anyway.
Can I just say quickly? Every single time I'm in a hotel now, and you go down for the breakfast buffet. I know this is bordering on buffet chat, and I don't want to open that can of worms again.
Yeah,
but. Jim, you pop into my head every single time.
I thought about it too as well. On holiday we had a breakfast buffet as part of the hotel. So we made a decision that we're not going to have lunch. We're going to go for it. And I was like, absolutely fine, darling. Off we go. It was great.
So Jim, how do you approach that morning buffet?
Yeah.
You take your time, don't you?
We've done this, haven't we? Yeah, you try to. You really try to.
There's no right. You sit down, you get a glass of orange, and then sit back down.
Yeah, I like to layer it. I really love to layer it. Just take it. I want to be going up and down at least 4 times. Anyway, so this is a bit of controversy for you now, Flav. Here we go. And I did think it at the time, and I will read a couple of comments. JNZ sandwich chat. I think Flav needs to stand trial next week for daring to mention cheese and coleslaw in the conversation of greatest sandwich, let alone it being a real sandwich. James,
No, it is a real sandwich.
James quietly questioned it. James's quiet questioning of cheese and coleslaw needs to be revisited. This rogue idea makes
sandwich ever, did I?
You put it in the list. Yeah, I remember thinking, really?
I think I was just reeling off sandwiches. I need to think about a list. You can't put.
Okay, he's backtracking.
Can't put that.
This rogue idea makes me imagine Flav opening 2 slices of bread, placing a slice of cheese on one side and gingerly piling coleslaw on the other before closing the bread and whispering, "There she is." I get chills thinking of a man eating cheese and slaw on bread with a smile. Yeah, I'm struggling with it. I've got to be honest.
I mean, I don't often have it. I have had it. And you can get it in sandwich shops that's sold as. You can get cheese and coleslaw and boots, for fuck's sake.
And
it
what?
Exists. Cheese and coleslaw and I don't know what else is in there really.
But you said something with the B there.
Boots.
Cut out.
Boots.
Oh,
Yeah,
at
boots.
boots.
Can I just quickly say, I don't think that should be on the tier list of greatest sandwiches ever, but it is something that gets eaten occasionally.
Really, I would never ever go for that. That doesn't
Really?
make sense to me at all.
The jacket potato, you can have cheese and coleslaw, right?
Again, I don't have coleslaw a lot, but I'll only have it with salad, really. Okay. Alexis McAllister deserves a Scottish call-up.
Have you seen his dad?
Well,
have you seen his dad?
Has everyone seen his dad? Well, here he is. We've got Arteta attack as well in a minute. There he is.
Oh, mate, have you... That is mental.
Yeah.
What was it? It was...
and he was a player. He played with Maradona.
Unreal. Go to read JaackMaate Book's his caption there.
Alex McAllister's dad, Carlos, looks like he made a surprising loan move to Boca Juniors after playing 450 games. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's really good. So yeah, there he is. Because we were talking about how surely.
Hang on, his name's. Go back again a minute. Go back. His name's Carlos Javier McAllister.
Yeah.
Unreal. That is unbelievable.
Well, so this is interesting, and there's some great comments from the Jaffam community, who are the best.
Go on.
So TC. So first of all, Alexis McAllister is from one of the southern provinces of Argentina, where due to the important mining industry there, large communities of Scottish, Irish, and Welsh immigrants actually moved over, with roughly half of the country's population residing in Buenos Aires. There's a place called, where is it? There's actually a town in Argentina called Rawson, which is surprisingly home to a community of Welsh speakers.
Wow.
So there you go.
That blows my mind.
This is great work in the comments by two of our OGs, Mr. Banana Bandana. Even better than Alexis McAllister being Argentinian is that he has a brother called Kevin.
Kevin McAllister.
Which means in the early 2000s there was a little Argentinian boy called Kevin McAllister running around Buenos Aires. Now McSlash like that, by the way. And McSlash was a legend, but also Rob Turner, met up recently, and they sent me a picture of themselves holding a spoon, which was lovely. I can actually very briefly, can I? Can't find it. Here it is. Here they are. So two moist slugs, just hanging out, holding a spoon in Australia. Small world.
Isn't that
wonderful?
Mad?
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
But yeah, this comment is amazing. So yeah, Kevin McAllister is his brother apparently, and so there was a little Kevin McAllister running around Buenos Aires. Brilliant. McSlash said, "Yeah, I've seen the documentary where Kevin McAllister gets on the wrong flight during a family holiday and ends up in New York with his dad's credit card. He bumps into some local thieves who have a personal vendetta against him. I'd recommend watching it." Very good.
Yeah.
Home Alone 2, of course. Very good stuff. And so yeah, but he is of Irish descent. Apparently.
Who?
McAllister.
Surely Scottish descent.
No, it's Irish apparently. Or he's a bit of both, maybe. I think it was on his thing. And let's finish off with Arteta attack. So we've got a few.
Show a picture of you being really tall, what you'd look like if you were tall.
Sure. It'd be great. It's more if Paul was small, isn't it?
No, that doesn't look right at all, James.
Doesn't feel right.
Exactly the way you are is how you're meant to be.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I could get on with that.
Okay. Noted. So Arteta attack. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Although I'm sick of being around tall people. It doesn't matter.
I hate that picture so much. It's disgusting.
So we asked you guys. Of course, there was the hand and the heart a while back.
What's going on here then?
So we asked people for their Arteta attack, and this is one from Josh. This is very good.
Inhalers.
Mikhail, age 40. Just there's the heart and the inhaler holding together. Oh, I had that ready as well. Damn, hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Where is it? There it is. I got it on double speed. Right.
This is an art attack. This is an art attack.
This is Arteta attack.
Not quite working.
No, I've done it on double speed because I don't want to get done for copyright. So that's that one. A little bit of Arteta attack from him there. It always scrolls up to the top. That's really annoying. There's some that are a bit offensive, so I'm not going to pop them. Our boy Thomas Martin has done this one. This is what Arteta drew last week. Wingers attack Trent. His defence equals poo. Very good. Very good stuff. What else we got? Why does it keep scrolling up to the top? It's so annoying. There's some. This is mental. This is really weird. So this comes with the caption. You need to.
Is that a uterus?
Well, this comes with the caption. You need to look after the balls, guys, like a woman. Caress it like a baby in the womb, because a protected ball is a happy ball. But be ready to spring into an attack. I love you guys. And this would have been the picture that Arteta would have drawn, which is two testicles coming out of a Jack in the Box.
Are you sure that isn't a uterus?
I think it's two testicles with a face on it coming out of a Jack in the Box.
I don't think it is, mate. I think that's a female anatomy. It's a.
I think the testicles are here, no?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't want to gaslight again. Now I don't want to say anything anymore. But I think if you Google the female uterus, you'll see.
Okay. I'm not going to show that one. I'll let you see that, Flav. But that's just too much. I've got to be honest. It's essentially.
We can describe it. Surely we can describe it.
Yeah, feel free to describe it.
Right. So it's a football, right? And on top of the football is a massive cock, and there is a goal. And inside the goal, there is what can only be described as an arsehole. And the cock is going towards the arsehole, and there's two big love hearts next to the cock. I don't know what it means.
Okay. People seem to think that you're right here.
Yeah, I am right.
Uterus. Fair enough. This one's quite. Don't mind this one.
It's just a cannon blowing up a.
Yeah. I mean, simple, to the point. Not as sweet as what Arteta generally likes to do. He loves to do a little smiley face, doesn't he? Imagine if they win the league after that coming out. That's just going to be a huge thing. Some of the things Louis sent me over the years. Amazing. And I think that's your lot. That was Arteta attack. Right. That's your lot. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Get involved with
Thank you very much,
Chat.
everyone, for giving us your time on this wonderful.
Wilderness says
Friday
that's
afternoon.
100% lady parts. Okay.
Yeah, lady parts.
Sorry, I got it wrong. I mean, yeah.
No, let's put it in though, Jim. Yeah, let's put it in.
Yeah, big time. Right. I don't know how to link from that. So it's the end of the podcast. Have a great weekend. I'm off to Google what a uterus is. Anything you want to say, Flav? Oh, if you want to become a patron, please do. Links in the description. And that's
Do me a favour, actually. If you could go over and my No Holds Barred interviews, just so when I'm trying to set people up, there's like 19 reviews, 19 little ratings. If you could go and listen to it and then just give me a rating on there, 5 stars, that'd be wonderful. It just makes it look a bit better when I'm approaching people and they're like, why have you only got 19 reviews? So if you could go over to No Holds Barred interviews, give it 5 stars, have a listen, maybe there's some interesting stuff there, then I'll be very grateful. If not, have a great Friday.
Delightful. Right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks again. Goodbye. Oh, I'm doing a Liverpool